Hey, Space Nation. Today we're going to talk to number 5 on the leaderboard, Jelena. She was a really great interview, so I'm excited to share this with you. Let's get started. Hi, Jelena. How you doing?
Hi, Aaron. I'm okay. And you?
Doing great. Doing great. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. We've obviously been talking for a few minutes, so for us this is a little awkward, but for everyone else that's watching, this is brand new. But I wanted to get a little bit more about you, where you're from. You're obviously wearing the Croatian, team jersey right now.
Yeah.
All right. But I would love to hear a little bit more about you, yourself, and then we'll talk a little bit about the exciting World Cup stuff that's
Okay. My name is Jelena Cvijić. I live in Zagreb, in Croatia. I'm 38 years old. I work in bank, but I always told about myself that I'm an artist. I love to paint, draw, and yeah, Croatia tomorrow is in final, final with France. And the whole country is so much excited. We hope that Croatia finally win world champions.
And that's a big deal because this is the first time Croatia's ever been in a World Cup final. So I can get a sense of the passion and the excitement that the whole country is feeling right now. And normally I would ask like maybe about what you're watching on TV or whatever, but what are your plans for the World Cup? What are you going to do? Do you guys have anything where like a bunch of people get together, or how's it going to look for you tomorrow on the World Cup, and what you're going to do during the game and then potentially after the game if you win or lose? Do you have any plans?
Yeah, we're going outside somewhere on square. I don't know. We didn't decide yet where we're going to watch, but if we win, there will be all night. Celebrate. I don't know who going in the on the Monday work. I don't know.
Yeah, there probably won't be much work done on Monday, or maybe even Tuesday for that matter, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
That's amazing. Do you think they'll like? Do you think there'll be like a holiday if that happens in Croatia? Because this will be history.
There's something to talk about that politics. They talk about maybe if we win these champions, that maybe no one is going to work on Monday, but we're going to see.
That's
It will be
exciting.
great.
That is so
Yes.
exciting, and I mentioned this with Yvonne in another interview, but the singular passion that exists in the World Cup with countries, and how almost everyone in the country can be just glued to their TV, and everyone's holding their breath to see what the final outcome will be. It's
Yeah.
pretty powerful.
Yes. And me and Ivan from Uruguay, we often talk about football. We are both from little countries, and we talk all about that. I would like that in the final will be Croatia and Uruguay, but unfortunately, Uruguay.
Yeah,
Uh,
that would have been a really big deal, and that would have been awesome. But
yeah,
I'm excited for you. Being from a smaller country, a country that hasn't been represented in the finals, that is really exciting, and I'll be cheering for Croatia as well
yeah.
tomorrow. So
Thank you,
good luck. Good luck.
thank you.
So we'll switch gears now into more Space Nation related stuff. Space Nation and the Navigator app specifically. So one place I like to start is, when and why did you download the first time you downloaded the Space Nation Navigator app? What was the story behind that? How you heard about it and downloaded it, and when that was?
Okay, I downloaded the app because I have now opportunity maybe to go to space. But the whole story is start when I was 6 years old. I was watching on TV Challenger. Okay, that crew was killed at that time. But from then, when I was 6, I want to go to space. And in the beginning, when I was little, I only think, wow, I want to sit in a rocket and go to space. But now I think, I want to go to Moon, to Mars. I want to go to any planets where we can land it. I think about how we can grow food, about air. I think a lot about stuff about space. And I search on internet. I often read about space. And when I found one page and read about Kale and Mazdak, about their lives, about their dreams, about Space Nation, I know I want to be part of that, and finally I am. I downloaded the app. And I'm from the beginning. The first day when you can download the app, I download, and I'm from the beginning. I play. Uh, I meet the guys on the app. You, Ivan, Dani, Ishita, lots of interesting people from all over the world, and it's great.
That's amazing. And this was something that we talked about a little bit when I was talking with Ishita. We talked a little bit about how there's a lot of us who've had kind of that passion, whether it was watching a launch or watching an old, space camp video or something, where we had this passion, right? And for me, it sounds like for you as well, that passion kind of got reignited when some of the barriers to becoming an astronaut felt like they've been lifted when Space Nation launched their mission and their vision of democratizing space. Before it was very elite. If you weren't maybe from the U.S. or weren't one of the 1% of people who were, had the right degree and had the right background and experience, if you weren't one of those very select people, then you didn't really have the chance of going to space realistically, and you could spend 20 years training and nothing would come of it. So that's interesting because I identify, I think, with you. You're clearly right now. You work at a bank. You're not in a space-related field directly. Neither am I.
Yeah.
And it's somewhere where kind of that childhood passion has been reawakened, and I feel kind of like a kid now. The things I talk about being space, it's like it sounds ridiculous, especially to a lot of people who aren't a part of Space Nation, who haven't kind of had that passion reawakened.
Yeah, I feel exactly that way. Like a kid when I was 6 years old, and now it's again, wow, finally we get a chance, and it's great to see people from all over the world. We are from Argentina, Uruguay, India, USA, Finland, Croatia.
I think there's something to be said about just the impact it can have on humanity as a whole, because we can kind of align on things that are shared passions and shared visions instead of thinking about what is it that you're taking from me or I need to take from you.
Yeah, me too.
So my, next question, and this is, we kind of touched on this, but why do you spend so much time in the app? Obviously there's dreams associated with it, and things like that, but there are people that might have similar dreams, but they're not spending the same amount of hours that you or I may be spending in the app on a daily or weekly basis. I wonder if there's something in addition to that childhood dream that makes you want to go in and learn more about space.
Yes. First, I want to be one of the best candidates, and in the beginning, I was thinking, we are all competitors here, but now I don't think that. I think we are all cooperate together. We are all teams. We talk about now. I talk with other candidates, and I think that's great.
Yeah, exactly. And that's true. I think that's a great point you bring up, is that there is a competition level to this, obviously, right?
Okay.
But at the same time, I think the community is strengthened, my resolve to get into the app on a regular basis. I don't feel so crazy for jumping in the app multiple hours a day, because I know people like yourself, Yvonne, everyone else is doing it as much or more than me. So I would like to, it drives us all to be better because we're all so committed to it. So another question that I have, it's about the specific missions. Do you have a favorite mission and a least favorite mission, and why?
Mhm. My favorite is okay. I love all games. I learned lots about mm, in quizzes, uh, but my favorite is a planet collector because I sit 8 hours a day at work in a bank, and I love to walk. I want to be outside uh, long time after work, and I walk and I get points for that, and that's so interesting for me. And I love planet collector.
They are, that does move us to do something and get us out and exercising. I definitely exercise more than I would have if it wasn't for the app. So
Yeah,
yeah, I totally understand that, and I'm really glad that you brought that up. And then what about your least favorite mission? Is there one that it's not like you hate it, but maybe it's one that you just would rather skip?
I don't know. I like them all. Maybe space vacuum, but it's only because I have some technical problems with that games. I click first round, I pass. Second round, I pass, and in third round is all prison, and I can do anything. But it's problems with my games, with my mobile, but
Yeah, I
and
know.
only because of that, because technical problems.
I know what you're saying, and then Space Nation knows we're early on. This is all kind of we're still in a testing phase to some degree, so they are clearing out a lot of those bugs. I think that'll be interesting to
Yes,
see
yes.
what happens. In the beginning of August when they're going to be launching Cycle 2, because Cycle 2, from what I hear, it sounds like there'll be a lot less bugs and maybe even a lot more games to work on. So that'll be really interesting to see, moving forward, what kind of things open up. And there'll probably be other games that we really like and don't really like too. Yeah. So another question I like to bring up, because I think this adds a little bit more dimension to this game. So sometimes we think this game is really just an app, and maybe we're getting points, and potentially we could win a really awesome prize. But deeper than that, I do think that this app and the things that we're learning do add to our life on a regular basis. So what I'm wondering is if there's something you feel like you've learned in the app that applies to your life on a daily basis, something where you may be using it every day or every other day, but it's something that really has come from the app and the work you put into the app.
Yeah, this is about games Space Run. Because when I stopped training boxing before 3 years, I only walking outside, and now this is the game where you run or sprint 200 meters.
I don't know about other people, but myself, I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm going to work out, and I'll work out for a week. And then I kind of like slowly let it fade. But I think that's something where this app is, because it's constantly saying, oh yeah, do the next thing, you'll get points for it.
Yeah,
It pushes you to continue to do what's good for your body and develop your physical skill set for astronauts.
Yes, maybe someday. Okay, I don't want to do anything. I want to rest, but yeah, I go out, I go run, I go walk.
It's just that push that sometimes we need, right?
You. Yeah.
Let's jump on to number 6 here. Let's imagine you win the the grand prize and you're able to go to space or something like that. What's the thing that's probably the most exciting about that? The thing that really makes you pumped up? And then the other side of that, what's the thing that potentially gives you a little bit of pause or makes you a little bit nervous because it might be a little scary as well?
No, not nervous. It's all this story, all about space is exciting for me. First, the exciting is, wow, maybe I have a chance to meet all of you guys. You, Ivan, Shita, Dani, maybe Kale, Mazdak, and these guys. And first is that exciting. Maybe we all meet on Iceland. I don't know, we in astronaut boot camp, and about travel to space. It's not scary, just exciting. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's true, and that's something that Yvonne said. He's like, "Ah, I'm not scared," you know. But the reality is, there are risks if you do get into a rocket, right? There are risks involved, but I think what you guys really bring out is the fact that the optimism, the excitement, and the potential for exploration obviously outweighs the risks. Probably anyone that's putting the amount of time that we are putting into this is probably falls into that camp. There is some level, their optimism and their excitement about space exploration and travel outweighs any of the risks associated with that. And there are risks, but I think that's really cool to have that kind of gung ho mentality and eternal optimism, so to speak.
I jump from a plane with parachute, tandem jump. Yeah. And for me, it was only exciting. Some people was scared. What did they do if the parachute not open or something? No, I think only positive. No, I want to jump, I go and jump. And the same. I don't know. I think about space, and it's only exciting, adrenaline. It's only that.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a thrill for you as well. In that moment when you're about to jump, was there something? Did you have any thought in the back of your mind where like, oh, this is a bad idea?
No.
Never?
When we jump, I only do, and it was the most exciting experience what I ever feel. You fall down 200 kilometers an hour. It's great.
The last question I like to end on, because I think it focuses on the community. I would like you, if you can, to give me, one person. I know you've named a bunch of people that you'd like to meet, but if there's someone that has, sparked your interest as someone that you really want to meet and talk to, maybe someone that you can compete against in astronaut training, something like that. There's someone that you really want to meet and talk to in this Space Nation Navigator app.
Yes, I mentioned Dana Ishita, but the most one who I want to meet is definitely Ivan. Because we love to talk about football, and I see in your last interview with him that he do space run 28 times one day. I only I do one day, one is collector, and after that space run maybe 2 or 3 times. It was enough for me. And
yeah, exactly.
He's very, very great. He's got great shape.
Yeah, and I think he is a name that keeps popping up, and it's because he is number one. I think everyone wants to, there is this competitive spirit a little bit. You want to see how you stack up against number one. I think everyone feels that way a little bit, but also, that his spirit of collaboration as well, I think, is what's unique. Like some people that may just compete and not really want to share, socially, but he's obviously very active socially as well. He's, on Twitter or wherever. Yeah. So he is a really cool guy, and I look forward to, hopefully potentially competing against him. He is actually really close to me. We're just a couple hours away from each other. Just have to cross the river between Uruguay and Buenos Aires here. So generally, those are my questions. Generally, what I like to do is kind of open it up to you. Sometimes people want to talk about, some of the things that they're involved with. Maybe you want, someone to, or wants people to check out a social profile you have or a project you're working on. Or if you just want to ask me a question, I'm totally open to that as well. But it's all you. Let me know let me know if you have anything.
Can I say that these things which you do, you show candidates games is how can they pass the games. You do interview with all candidates, and it's great. I talk with Ivan about football, about space, and after your interview, I see that he also works in bank, and we are both working bank, and lots of stuff we learned about from your interview with all of them, and it's very great.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I know that that's something that I've wanted to do is I think that that's the only thing that's kind of missing in the Space Nation app now. And I think they are working on that, but is a little, the social components, the social missions, they still don't quite connect us yet. And so I'm glad that we can have an opportunity to connect because like you said, a lot of it is about more about community and collaboration than about competition. And so I know that that's something that I'm really excited. And the reality is I put some stuff out there, but the community has really supported it. And that makes me want to put more time and effort into this because it's something I do more for fun. It's not a business or anything. So I'm just really excited about people like yourself who are really supportive and want to see more and are willing to come on and talk to me. You know, you're not really getting anything out of this conversation necessarily other than maybe some fun and some talking, but you know, I appreciate that. And the community is a really fun and vibrant one that's growing every day.
It's great to hear about candidates from all over the world. You know, you talk about Ivan from Uruguay, Shita, India, you know, I'm from Croatia.
Yeah, and having done that, this is clearly the thing that people are most interested in, is the people behind, let's say, the icons or the avatars that are in the top whatever list. You know, we see your name, we see Ivan's name, we see, you know, a bunch of other names on a regular basis that are always in the top. And putting a face and a voice and a story to those names is, I think, very interesting to people. And by far, it's the most watched things that we do on the channel. So you're right. I mean, that I think is interest that kind of spans everyone in the Space Nation Navigator app.
Yes, this is great. I was forward when you told me that we're going to do this interview. I was excited.
I always am excited meeting new folks, but this has been a lot of fun. And I really appreciate it. You're adding a lot of color to things that I didn't necessarily think about. I really do appreciate the time that you took to talk with me and share.
Thank you very much for interviewing me. And I hope you interview lots of another guys.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this interview as much as I enjoyed conducting it. If you did, you can go ahead and hit the like button below the video, share with friends, family, whoever you think might enjoy it, and subscribe by hitting the red button. And if you're on Twitter, you can find me at Aaron T. Burnett. Also search Mars Walker. I use this account to share tips about things like weekly adventure, which really can't have a full video devoted to them. Until next time, keep ranking up your points, and I will see you guys at Space Camp.